So, a lot of you are probably experiencing a lot of deeply unconscious ancestral trauma and energies arise right now. And these energies can feel very big and overwhelming. Like you might have this uncontrollable rage moving through your system. Um, you might have a lot of terror just like starting to rush through your body, or uncontrollable bouts of crying and grief. And I just wanted to bring this video through to let you guys know, like, you're not alone, and this is something really big is happening in the collective right now, as far as releasing these energies. It's like these deeply dark and buried ancestral energies. They're not even personal to you necessarily. It's just ancestral. They're starting to come up. They're starting to surface. And anyone watching this, you've been chosen by Earth, by the universe, by the Divine Mother, by Jesus, however you want to fill into it. It's like you've been chosen as a conduit and as a portal for these energies to release through. And it's like you're doing so much more work than just for yourself right now. And I think that needs to be said, and that needs to be named. And I want you guys to know, like, right now is a really important time to like not really believe your thoughts. It's like, let's validate the pain that's going on within our bodies, but know when these big energies of rage and terror and grief are coming up, and as dark as they are and as old as they are, this isn't like a trauma you experienced 5 years ago old, right? This is like really old. This is infant. This might be past lives. This is the trauma your great grandparents were carrying in their body. And so as this old trauma surfaces and starts releasing out of your body, you'll notice you're going to start having really intense thought storms happen as well. Like you might have really violent images for a while. Really dark and graphic stuff might be surfacing in your consciousness, in your awareness. And just know, like, that's not you. You don't have to identify with it. It's just energy moving through your system. And that ultimately this is a good thing, obviously, because you're letting this energy alchemize and transmute. And know that this is temporary. Especially right now, we're in kind of this, it's kind of like crunch time in a way, with a lot of the astrological stuff that's going on that I've been hearing about from others, and just my own intuition is really noticing how that's moving. It's like we're going through some really life-changing type of energies right now. You may notice that you're meeting people that catalyze this transmutation of deeply held ancestral trauma in your body. Like you might be meeting people that are just this really powerful catalyst, whether it's in romantic relationship, friendship, someone you met at work, or maybe you're finding people on YouTube, or just maybe a spiritual teacher. Just don't be surprised if you start coming into contact with a being or beings that really catalyze this process and really amplify this process during these times. And it's like these people are here to help remind us who we are. You know, these people are, they're gonna probably bring this really bright light, and they're gonna show you, it's like gonna be a helpful relationship for you to move through all of the ancestral stuff in your body. It's like the universe knows that we probably need support right now, you know, and so really allow yourself to be receptive to you know, spending time in containers where you feel safe, where you feel held, where you feel seen and heard, because that's at its essence what this unconscious ancestral trauma energy wants. It just wants to be validated, acknowledged, seen, and heard. So life's going to be showing you, like, or bringing to you certain people that are going to really be powerful reflections for you, and it might bring you opportunities for different spaces, and whether that's in the healing arts with a therapist or a healer, or It could just be maybe your thing is nature. Maybe it's a certain type of retreat that you go on. Regardless of what it is, it's just like, just notice that how, yes, it feels like these energies are so intense. They're so dense. They're so big in the system, right? They can be so overwhelming and we can feel totally immersed in darkness. But also the universe is giving us the tools and the support to move through what's arising right now, to move through these deeply buried ancestral energies. And so I just wanted to make this video. Like, I'm not nearly at my 100% channeling capacity right now because I'm also moving through a lot, but I just wanted to like open up this space for you guys to have, you know, a place where you can share what you're going through, and then also to have a mirror for you of someone else who's walking this path with you. And I want you also to be assured this is a good thing. Like, what I can feel with these energies is like, hey, thank God they're coming online. Like, this is our power. Like, these suppressed ancestral energies that are coming up, this darkness is our power. It's like this is our DNA being activated. This is like dormant DNA finally being activated right now. And that's what, like, you're going to be meeting people that are really activating. And these times astrologically are extremely activating. It's just like when you are getting a tremendous amount of unconscious dark energy arise in your system, that's a sign you're being very activated. That's a sign there's a lot of light working within you. Okay. This is not a bad thing. This is an amazing thing. This is just like a tremendous amount more of yourself showing up in this body. It's like Earth needs all of us to be empowered beings. And that's a big thing that's been coming through in my 2-hour meditations that I've done the last 2 days. And I've been doing long meditations right when I wake up because I can intuitively sense like, oh, I need to cultivate some space for all this unconscious ancestral stuff that's coming up right now. And so I've been waking up and setting my timer for 2 hours and then just closing my eyes and allowing this energy to come up and be seen and be heard and just bringing lots of presence to it. And what was coming through this morning is the earth is needing us to step into our power, to become more empowered. It's like, it's amazing how sensitive we all are. We're so gifted in the sense of with intuition and empathy and feeling connected to everything around us. But I think what's happening is it's getting down to like crunch time of like, this energy wants to be embodied in the body on earth. And so that's another reason I think a lot of this stuff is coming up to be seen, because you'll notice as you see it, as you honor it, as you acknowledge it and validate it, and it starts to integrate, you're gonna start to feel like more sturdy. I've been feeling that recently, like just more of my power on earth, like feeling just more stable on earth in a sense, like, okay, more stable in my humanity. And it's a paradox because these energies can feel really crazy and unconscious and out of control, right? These energies can feel borderline manic at times. I think that's a lot of, I don't want to get too into this, but it's a lot of why people have such up and downs and they get diagnosed with bipolar and stuff, is because this unconscious energy, it's so intense, it's so big, but because of that, it's like it harnesses so much power, you know, and so like it's important to realize like the crazier an energy feels in your body and the more big it feels, like that's more light, that's more power, right? And so it's like you're feeling that much because that's how much space you have. You have that much space to hold for all this stuff coming up. And that's why you were chosen. You could say, like, some people, I don't get too into this, but like the chosen ones, it's like you were chosen for this because you have the light, because you have the space, because you have the soul evolution to do this. And so, yeah, that's the message, is just to trust that this is a really beautiful thing. And even though it can feel really brutal, and that just to find containers that are supportive for you, and to take time for yourself, and to notice as this energy starts to integrate, just how much more of yourself you feel like. I had a client say something really beautiful today about just the essence of they wanted to, you know, remember like what it was like to be them. It's like, I want to be me. It's like, I want to remember what it's like to be me fully. It's like a lot of us, as this dark ancestral trauma starts to integrate, we're going to start having these remembrances of who we really are, the joy, the playful being that we are, the expansive being that we are. We're going to start having these felt sense experiences like, holy fuck, I get to take up space here. I get to be big here, you know? And it's like, that's what these ancestral energies start to have that effect of like, I get to be big here. I get to be myself. I get to be messy. I get to be angry. I get to be afraid. I get to be all of these things that we never had permission to be those things. Hence the energies are stuck in our body because they were never validated and they were never approved of in the past. We were condemned for having them. So we shoved them down in our body. It wasn't just us. It was those who came before us. And now these energies are coming up and we get to embody them. That's why yesterday I just went on live and was like, I'm terrified right now, and just like let terror move. It's like, because there's something in my system that's like, and these energies are just like, hey, we're being seen right now. It's like these ancestral traumas are like, we're fucking being seen and validated right now. And now is the time, like astrologically, energetically, on Gaia. It's like, now is the time. We have the space for it. We have the support here to do this. Unlike we have ever had before. It's like we didn't have this much support, I feel like 3 years ago, 10 years ago. And that's because there's more of us awakening. There's more of us that have walked the path for a longer amount of time. We've cleared the energetic space, so to speak. And so, yeah, as crazy as it can be, as out of control as it can feel, as overwhelming as it can seem, this is more of you activating, more of your power, more of your joy. This is you healing a whole lineage of trauma. And we're here to start something new. And I'm not going to say the next few years are going to be easy, guys. These next few years are going to be like going through mud quite a bit. It's going to be a lot of density, a lot of transformation, a lot of alchemy. But intuitively, I feel 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now, I think that all this work we're doing, we're going to start to feel very free on the earth plane, you know, very free to embody this light, to embody who we truly are. And so it's just about, and I think that's why I felt inspired to start the Facebook group and the monthly Patreon meetings. It's about like leaning on each other for support right now too. It's about connecting with one another. It's like we don't have to, yeah, we are all in our own process, but we don't have to do this alone. We get support on this process, you know? And yeah. Because I felt that the inspiration to do like the Facebook group and the Patreon, it like wasn't really for me. It was like for everyone. It was like for the one. That's the other thing. I'll end on this. That's the other thing I recognized in the 2-hour meditations the last couple of days. It was like I wasn't meditating so I got to be empowered and in my power and therefore have a better experience of life. Because yeah, when you're in your power, you're gonna have a different experience of life than when you're not in your power. Because when you're not in your power, you're gonna suffer a lot more, right? But what I was feeling in my meditations was like, I'm getting in my power and cultivating the space for this ancestral trauma to transmute for the one. It's like, this is bigger than just me now. Can you guys feel that? Can you guys resonate with that this process is bigger than you? You know, and for a while, it kind of was just me. It was just about me, and it had to be. It's like, it has to be that for a while. But I think now we're starting to move into this energy where it's like, we're starting to feel much more connected to like the bigger process underway right now on Gaia. And so what we're all doing, this is for the one, this is for the collective. And more of our actions, I think, will start to reflect that. I've seen that in my own life, how like, I feel like I'm doing this for the one more than anything now. And it takes a lot of pressure off too. It's like, oh shit, there's something greater here. There's this greater fabric of intelligence. There's this greater field that's actually doing this through me, as me. And I can just kind of let it happen through me. I can just surrender and open the Facebook group and the Patreon monthly meetings and just trust like that intelligence of the field will bring through what's needed, right? And I would just, you know, really, you know, hopefully inspire some of you to lean into that support and lean into that trust that there's a greater intelligence working through you and this whole process of healing your ancestral trauma. And so, yeah, I think I've said enough. This was going to be a short video, but yeah, it feels good that it went as long as it did. I'll write something more concrete about the Patreon Zoom gatherings. And I do want to wait a little bit until there's more of an interest. I've had some of you reach out to me, but I just want to make sure that there's the interest for that. And if you want to join the Facebook support group, that is active right now. All you have to do is go to my Patreon page, and it's like $7 and you have access to it. And then it's just a one-time thing. It's like you don't need to stay signed up on the Patreon. It's just like a one-time $7 donation type of thing. And then you're part of that group forever. Just in case you didn't want to stay on the Patreon the whole time. But if you want to meet on the monthly groups, like the monthly Zoom gatherings, then that's the $10 donation, and that is monthly. So it's like $10 per gathering, plus you get access to the Facebook group, and then you also get access to all the exclusive content on Patreon. And so I've just added more value, I think, to joining Patreon is essentially what I've done. I've just added another element to it, like more of a community element to joining the Patreon community, whereas before it was just about exclusive content. So yeah, I hope that supports you guys. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you guys in the next video. Namaste.